యా వచ్చింది చూడండి. ఎస్ వచ్చింది కదా.
వచ్చింది ఇప్పుడు.
ఓకే డన్. ఎస్ వచ్చింది కదా.
వచ్చింది.
మేడం జాయిన్ అయిందా? Yes. Aradhya, can you please start the session? Ma'am also joined.
Ma'am joined. I think ma'am have not joined yet.
Yes, she. No, ma'am joined. You can start.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. No, audible, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Ma'am, you are not audible properly, ma'am.
Your voice is low, ma'am.
Just give me Okay, is it better now?
Yes, ma'am. Somewhat better, but still low, ma'am.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Trying my best to. No, I don't have my earphone right now, but is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Now you're audible, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Very warm greetings to all the participants here for this webinar. Good morning, ma'am. And good morning, one and all present here. First, let me introduce myself. Myself, Aradhya Mastan, and I'm pursuing BA LLB in Sri Padmavati Mahila Viswavidyalayam, Tirupati. I welcome all the participants for today's webinar on Truth and Law of Articles 370 and 35A, hosted by Sri Venkateshwara Law Students Association, which clubbed all of us here. I'm profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the chief guest, Ms. Meenu Padha, advocate in the High Court of the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Now, I introduce our co-host Sadhika Royal from Sri Padmavati Mahila Viswavidyalayam, Tirupati, to speak a few words about our beloved organization. Sadhika.
Thank you, Aradhya. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Sadhika Royal, and I am pursuing BLLB third year in Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalayam, Tirupati. First of all, we are very thankful to the organizer, Kappara Pavan Kalyan Garu, who have established Sri Venkateshwara Students Law Association, SVLSA, in the year 2022. In order to spread the legal knowledge to all the law students by conducting academic activities with legal luminaries in India. Until now, we have conducted 8 online legal webinars. In that, 8 are national webinars and 1 is international webinar. People from the legal fraternity had given their insightful knowledge on the legal practice who had an eminent expertise of law. In the national webinars conducted with the help of Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati. We are the university law students from the Department of Law, 5 years BA LLB. With our own individual capacity, we had been conducting legal webinars as we have got the very nice response from the students of different universities and colleges. So we decided not to stop with only a few, but to expand the reach of these academic activities that we involve to all the law students around India under our association SVLSA, Sri Venkateshwara Law Students Association, so that every law student will have the exposure of legal teachings from the legal luminaries of India in the legal fraternity. Our association's main motto is to learn legal knowledge from luminaries expert in the subject of law, to promote a better understanding of communication among the law students all across India in the subject of law, to evolve and impart comprehensive legal education at the levels to achieve excellence. Also, to disseminate legal knowledge by organizing lectures, seminars, symposia, workshops, and conferences. Our main intention behind doing these academic activities is to make sure that all the law students are well equipped with the contemporary knowledge. As we all know that there is a lot of difference in reading and understanding the theoretical knowledge. As law students, we need the practical exposure of the law on how things are happening at present in the court of law. We welcome all the students to the part of this association as a family, and we want every law student get involved in our activities. Now, I would like Aradhya to read out portfolios of eminent speakers, Ms. Meenu Padha.
Thank you, Sadhika. It's my privilege to take an opportunity to introduce the chief guest for the day. She's none other than Ms. Meenu Padha, advocate from Jammu and Kashmir, an activist, founder of Mastiki Pathshala, President of National Child and Women Development Council, India, and Vice President of the National Council of News and Broadcasting, India. Member Internal Committee at Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University, Jammu and Kashmir. Global Goodwill Ambassador for India. Honorary Life Member for All India Ladies League. Ambassador for My Body is My Body program. Standing Council for Citizen Cooperative Bank. Women Empowerment Awardee 2020. Guest Speaker for All India Radio. Now, I would like to move on to the interesting part, as everyone are excited to listen about your views on Article 360 and 35A. Without further ado, we will turn time over to our esteemed guest, Ms. Meenu Padha Garu. So I request her to take the platform. So please hand over the platform, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for this beautiful introduction. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I think this is really, I'm really grateful for you guys because, I'm from North, you are from South. It's a completely different thing. But yeah, because I am a state subject of Jammu and Kashmir, so I think this subject really, I can tell you the actual ground thing which I have observed even after the abrogation of Article 370 and Article 355. But I have made a proper presentation. So we will discuss it, according to the theme. So Article 370 under Part 21 empowers Jammu and Kashmir to have its own constitution. It grants autonomous status to the J&K. As you must people have heard that we had our own status, special status to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It restricts parliament legislative power in respect of J&K. Article 335A, incorporated into the Constitution in 1954, provides special rights and privileges to the citizen of the state. See, we had our own state subject before the abrogation of Article 370, but obviously now we are the citizen of India as the other part of the country, as like the other part of the country. But earlier, along with the citizen of India, we were the state subject of Jammu and Kashmir, and that was a particular document we have been allotted as a state subject of Jammu and Kashmir. So it provides special status, privileges to the citizen of state. Article 35A gives the Jammu and Kashmir legislature full discretionary power to decide who the permanent resident of the state and who is not. In other words, it grants such power to Jammu and Kashmir, including the power to restrict settlement to the state and acquire immovable property. You people must have heard that the person who do not belong to the state of Jammu and Kashmir cannot acquire the immovable property in the state of Jammu and Kashmir before the abrogation of Article 370. But now the picture is different. Anyone from throughout the India can acquire the immovable property from in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and even he can settle or reside there. So, yeah. So Article 370 is a constitutional provision that gave Jammu and Kashmir its special status. The provision was, as I told you, incorporated in Part 21 of the Constitution. It was a temporary, transitional, and special provision that has been actually been mentioned in the the Constitution, that it is not a permanent provision. That is why it has been abrogated. If it was a permanent provision, that obviously it cannot be an abrogated provision. So as evident from the title of the part, it was supposed to be temporary provision, and its applicability was projected to last till the formulation and adoption of state constitution. It restricted the parliament legislative powers with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Pandit Nehru, on the floor of Lok Sabha on 27th November 1963, said that Article 370 has been eroded and the process of gradual erosion is going on. A year later, the then Home Minister, Mr. Gulzari Lal Nanda, again on the floor of Lok Sabha on 4th December 1964, said that Article 370 is a tunnel to take the Constitution of India to the Jammu and Kashmir. So I'm just, sharing a little bit about the history. Let's discuss about the presidential order. Under Article 370 of the Constitution of India, the President had a power to issuing order for the application of the provision of the Constitution of India with modification, and the power to issue orders for the application of the provision of the Constitution of India. The President had a power to issuing order for the application of the provision of the Constitution of India with modification, and the power to issue orders for the application of the provision of the Constitution of India with modification, exceptions, and amendments in the provision. And this power has been upheld in several cases by Supreme Court. As already said, for the application of other provisions of the Constitution of India to the state of J&K, the only mode available was the constitutional application order. I think it would be a very explained version. We don't have that much time. I will cover the only main part. So let me discuss briefly the facts on Article 370. Article 370 is a temporary provision with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The provision of Article 238 shall not apply in relation to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The power of Parliament to make law for the said state shall be limited to those matter in the union list and concurrent list. We all know that we have three lists in our constitution, that is a union list, state list, and concurrent list. So those matter who are in the union list and concurrent list, power of Parliament to make laws for the said state only with limited to these two lists, which also in consultation with the government of the state are declared by the president to correspond to matters specified in the instrument of accession, governing the accession of the state to the dominion of India as a matter with respect to which the dominion legislature may make law for that state. Such other matters in the said list, as with the concurrence of the government of the state, the president may, by order, specify explanation for the purpose of this article. The government of the state means the person for the time being recognized by the president as a Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, acting on the advice of Council of Ministers for the time being in office under Maharaja proclamation. Now you people must have heard that after 2019 August, this article has been abrogated by the president of India. So it is not I will talk about a little bit about the background. What was the earlier position in this regarding this special status? In 1947, at the time of independence, the state of Jammu and Kashmir decided not to join either Pakistan or India. India welcomed this decision, but Pakistan attempted to annex the state military. The Maharaja, that then Maharaja, sought Indian help to save his territory and people who were killed and looted by Pakistan militants. The then Prime Minister, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, accepted Jammu and Kashmir accession to India. The Maharaja signed the instrument of accession with certain concession for the autonomy of the state. This special status of state was enshrined in Article 370 of the Constitution of India. Now, important erstwhile features, special status of the Jammu and Kashmir. Someone said that please speak in Hindi. Actually, why I am using English, because you people are South Indian. I have heard that South Indians do not ज़्यादा हिंदी नहीं आती, but it's okay. अगर हिंदी बोलनी है तो
Yes, we continue in English. Most of the participants don't know Hindi.
That is a problem. That is why I'm using English.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, I will use both Hindi and English, right? Is that okay? So, state of I'm a North Indian, okay. But most of the people here may be South Indians, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay. So, state of Jammu and Kashmir has its own constitution apart from Indian constitution. आप लोगों ने, you people must have heard कि हमारा जो constitution होता था, we have our own constitution. That is the constitution of Jammu and Kashmir. Like you people use the provision in Indian Penal Code, like you have 376 IPC. We have here it's RPC, that is Ranveer Penal Code, right? So this state follows dual citizenship, as I earlier told you, that citizen of Jammu and Kashmir and citizen of India. The residuary power of the state. The residuary power of the state lies with the legislature of Jammu and Kashmir and not the Parliament of India. देखिए जो residuary power थी state की, जो कुछ powers थी state की, वो J&K Jammu Kashmir Legislative Assembly is more powerful as compared to other legislative assembly, because we have allotted few powers that is not allotted to the other legislature of throughout India. Except for defense, this is very important, foreign affairs. Except for defense, foreign affairs, finance, and communication, the parliament needs the state government concurrence for applying all other law. So these four are excluded. The one, number one is defense, number two is foreign affairs, finance, and communication. Other than these subjects, the parliament needs the state government, concurrence for applying other laws in the Jammu and Kashmir. The national emergency declared in the ground of war and external aggression shall have an automatic extension to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The national emergency proclaimed on the ground of armed rebellion, which is not the ground right now. Armed rebellion is not a ground for the proclamation of national emergency right now. But earlier it was, it shall not have an automatic extension to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The governor of the state of Jammu and Kashmir is to be appointed only after the consultation with the chief minister of that state. And if we talk about the financial emergency under Article 360 of the Indian Constitution, it cannot be imposed on the state. DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy, and the fundamental duties enshrined in the Indian Constitution are not applicable to the Jammu and Kashmir. Apart from president rule, the governor rule can also be imposed in the state for the maximum period of 6 months. This is a condition before the abrogation. The preventive detention law, as mentioned in Article 22 of the Indian Constitution, do not have an automatic extension to the state. The name and boundary or territory of the state of J&K cannot be changed by parliament without the concurrence of state legislature. Now, you people are, may understand that the power of the state legislature in Jammu and Kashmir. Without their, without their consent, nothing can be done by the parliament. Article 19, clause A, subclause F, and 31 clause 2 of Indian Constitution have not been abolished for this state, and right to property still stand guaranteed to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, one more very important thing before the abrogation of Article 370 was that if a J&K woman marry with the person who is outside from Jammu and Kashmir, she is not entitled to her right to property. But after 2002, the Supreme Court, given a judgment on this thing, and Supreme Court held that she can, claim her right, but not she can transfer that to her children. So this is also very important aspect of before the abrogation. But now the situation is different. Yeah. Now, let me tell you the actual picture that has happened after the abrogation of Article 370, because today's topic is the truth and law of Article 370 and 35. So on 5th August 2019, the government of India revoked the special status or limited autonomy granted under Article 370 of the Indian Constitution to Jammu and Kashmir. On 5th August 2020, curfew was imposed across the valley as authorities apprehended violent protests by the separatist and Pakistan-sponsored groups. These groups observe August 5, the first anniversary of the revocation of J&K special status, as Black Day, and police and CRPF personnel were deployed across the valley to ensure that the plans of separatists to disturb peace do not succeed. Police vehicles, fitted with public address system, went around localities announcing the imposition of strict curfew for 2 days. Now, how has the security situation changed since the revocation of special status of Jammu and Kashmir? You must have, listened about the yesterday news that one Kashmiri Hindu has been shot dead by the militant group. So if I, being a citizen of Jammu and Kashmir, I am not allowed. Even it is a very controversial thing. Whenever we talk about the J&K, we have to be very, make ourselves in such a situation that we cannot cross that boundary. So I'm trying my best to be within the law point only, because it is a controversial subject, and as you all know, J&K is the most militarized state in the whole world. So we have to be within the limits. So how has the security situation changed since the revocation of special status of Jammu and Kashmir? Now I'm talking about the internal security situation. The infiltration grid on the line of control has become effective. The number of terrorist incidents have come down by nearly 30 to 40%. This is as per data, not my thing, but as per data. Local recruitment by separatist groups and infiltration has reduced considerably. Radicalization has reduced in South Kashmir. South Kashmir is one of the hub of terrorist activities, and better intelligence is coming from the locals to help the security forces to carry out the operation. Vigilance network on the border by the army, by the BSF and police has become stricter and more coordinated. Stone pelting incidents have come down because earlier you must have heard in the daily news channel that stone pelting is going on in J&K. So about the external security situation, Pakistan is persistently trying to send terrorist squads for infiltration through the border. The National Investigation Agency, NIA, has choked the Hawala funds, which the Hurriyat wing was distributing among the stone pelters. What have been, in the papers, the positive development across entire J&K and Ladakh, because it is not only about the Jammu and Kashmir, but Ladakh is also one of the UT that has been separated after this August 2019. Earlier we were together, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. So under the Jammu and Kashmir Infrastructure Development Finance Corporation Limited, 593 projects were sanctioned for the development of roads and bridges. This is according to the data. The Public Work Department, PWD, in Jammu and Kashmir targeted completing 180 infrastructure development projects in 2020. Domicile certificates were granted to more than 5,000 families who had come from West Pakistan immediately after 1947 and after 1956. Certain categories of people like Gorkhas and Valmikis were given the domicile certificates. Now, a few days back, one order has been passed by the Administrative Department of Jammu and Kashmir that a person who has spent around 1 year in the J&K will be granted the voting right in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. I think this is also one of the positive development that has happened after the abrogation. Constitutional provisions have been implemented in both UT of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, such as GST, such as Prevention of Corruption Act, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Hurriyat functions have become irrelevant and anonymous demand for the restoration of the state assembly has developed. Now, what are the challenges that we are facing? It is not sustainable to block internet services for the residents of Jammu and Kashmir for a longer period, despite the ongoing risk of instigation coming from Pakistan side. One of the very important thing that has, even a small thing happened in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, the first thing they will do that shut down the internet services. This is very common in our UT, I would say. So we are facing such kind of things. Once the transition is made from 2G services to 4G services, the risk of separatist propaganda will also increase further, as the local youth will have easier access to outside information. Pakistan's efforts for promoting infiltration in Jammu and Kashmir to destabilize the peace and portray a misleading image of the present-day Kashmir on international platforms. The major reason for the easily radicalization of youth by terrorist outfits in Kashmir is the lack of employment, obviously, avenues available for them. This is due to lack of industrial development in the region. And I hope after the abrogation, something will happen in the industrial sector so that the youth will not be misled by this terrorist group. Only a partial amount of the PM relief fund provided in 2015, that is 80,000 crore rupees, has been utilized for the development of the region. Nearly 50,000 employment vacancies remain unfitted in J&K. 800 of these are for gazetted officer and remaining for class 4 and non-gazetted. Now, what we are looking forward, apart from geographical and political integration of Jammu and Kashmir with the rest of India, and emotional integration of people and culture is required. Second, aspirations of local youth must be met by stepping in up employment opportunities and infrastructure development like metro, horticulture, floriculture, etc. Employment schemes need to be formulated and implemented. A technical solution for the filtering the propaganda that is coming from Pakistan and China, which poisons the minds of Kashmiri youth, is to be found. Stopping all the illegal weapons, narcotics, and fake currency trade along the LOC trade routes being carried out by Pakistan-based groups, ensuring fair working of the police without undue political interference, ensuring that the fruits of development reach the grassroots level, and existing nationalist voices within Kashmir Valley and of people who have supported India are acknowledged. Dealing with the problem in Jammu and Kashmir as a national problem rather than viewing them as a regional problem, and countering Pakistan agenda of cyber warfare and information warfare. So these are the way we are looking forward. I think this is all about the, I have covered almost, try to cover the main things that need to be covered. I think question answer will be more great because I think I can answer that accordingly. The question that will be asked to me. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. That's so informative. I'm sure our participants learned a lot from this session. At this juncture, we will go ahead and take some more time for questions now. You can ask any queries regarding this session. You can also drop your queries in the comment box also.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for this very informative session, ma'am. That was a very wonderful session. So
Means a
from
lot.
your
Thank you so
introduction, okay, ma'am. So from your introduction, I got to know that you are more interested in women and child rights, ma'am. So could you please tell us how that kind of interest developed?
Yes. What's your name?
My name is Karishma.
Karishma, that is, yeah, actually, I have more interest in women and child rights because in J&K, I am vocal about this issue for since 3 to 4 years. So this is actually my first, session on on this abrogation of 370 and 35A because I am more vocal about the women and children issues in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. What has made me to involve in this kind of issue, like during my law days, if I say that I have started one Masti Ki Pathshala, that is an underprivileged school. It's an evening informal school, not a formal school. So I have started with the help of my brother. So some people are, that is a slum area where I have started this school. Earlier, there was only 2 children, that are out of school children. I've joined this school, and later on we try to convince the parents because they were not ready to send their children to school because somehow they are helping, the children are helping to their parents in their daily chores work. So after that, I have started this informal school, and we have right to education as our fundamental right. Like they have been given the right to education. But still, if we see the facts, there are so many children who are out of school. And when I done a session on the right to education in that area, what I got to know that time that people are actually not willing to send them to school. Why? Because they said that they are working as a helping hand to them, and I'm not able to convince them to send them to a formal school. But yes, I try to convince them that why don't you send them during the evening hours, 3 to 5. They said okay, we will send. Then after that, I thought when they will get a education, they themselves will develop in their mind that education, how much education is important. And later on, uh, I have, realized that there are so many children who are very good in arts, who are very good in dancing, singing, reading. Even in fact, they are most of them are dropouts. So they are very, interested in getting education, and they have the ambition that they want to become teacher, they want to become police officer or something like that. But due to their financial or family conditions, they are not able to do this thing. uh, I'm feeling very happy to share with you guys that right now in this year only 3 children have been provided the proper formal school with the help of J&K Education Department, and 3 girls have been enrolled in the proper government school for their further education. According to their age, they have been allotted the classes with the help of J&K government. and they will get the education till 12 free of cost, and they are enrolled in under the underprivileged quota. So I'm happy that those children who have lost the hope that they won't go to school, now they are having three female students have been enrolled in proper school. So this is the power of education. Um, about your question, you said that what make me make me interested to get into this topic, because I have seen changes after when I consider children and women are most vulnerable section of society. And obviously, I'm not talking about the metropolitan city, but I am talking about the rural areas like JNK, where people are not aware about their basic rights. And when we talk about their basic rights, they are not aware, about the Domestic Violence Act, about the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. There are so many laws, there are there are so many laws, but still, on daily basis, we are seeing that provisions are misusing by people. But if I talk about the persons who are actually for them actually the laws are made, they are not aware about this thing. So I'm trying my best to be do my thing as a law knowing person in my area, at least to make some change in the women and child section. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. We
Thank
have a
you,
few
ma'am.
questions
You are
in.
a inspiration for all of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karishma. Ma'am, we have a few questions in our Zoom comment box, ma'am. Before abrogation of Article 370, did Indian government schemes have applied to Jammu Kashmir or not?
No, they have not applied to Jammu and Kashmir. When I was reading this thing, I have told you that the power of the legislature was very much, wide in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. That before their consent, a scheme cannot be. For example, you have Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana that has been implemented in throughout the country. Even the right to education has not been implemented in the state of Jammu and Kashmir when it came after the consent of legislature. When legislature given that consent that okay, you can implement in our state as well, then only it can be implemented. Otherwise, we do not have the access of all the schemes, we do not get the benefits of all the schemes that have been implemented by the government of India before the abrogation. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. And another question asked by Rakesh. Would I know the demographic picture in Jammu and Kashmir?
See, if we talk about the demographic picture, earlier we have, Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh was there was only one state. Earlier, it was Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh, but now Jammu and Kashmir is a different UT, and Ladakh is a different UT. So it is, these are two. Actually, Ladakhi people always have a demand that central government are always biased about Jammu and Kashmir. They usually neglect Ladakh while granting any sanction for the, while granting any funds to the for the betterment for the welfare of the people. Ladakh has always been this grievance that they have been always been और हमेशा उनके साथ वो किया जाता है गलत किया जाता है. So right now there is a long pending demand of JNK and about the Ladakh that they should be separated as made, and the Jammu and Kashmir is a separate district, this UT, and Ladakh is a separate UT.
Okay. One more question by Lakshmi Gayatri, ma'am. Any changes in state after abrogation, or else it was same as before?
See, except few things, I have not seen any change till now, to be honest. It was happened after abrogation was done in 2019, and it is 2022, which is going to end, right? To be honest, I have not seen any change in the employment sector, in the industrial sector, in the welfare of the people sector, even in terrorism activity. I have not seen anything. I'm talking about yesterday only when Kashmiri Hindu was shot dead by the terrorist group. So I have not seen any big thing if I want to discuss with you people. I have not seen any. Yes, a few things have happened. Like AIMS has been established in Jammu. One is in Untitled Kashmir, and IIT, IIM has been established, and IIM has been established. So there are few things that no doubt something has been changing. I have heard that G20 summit is going to be held in Srinagar. So these are few changes that obviously will we can expect that will change the picture in future. But right now, I haven't seen any big thing that I can share with you.
Ma'am, what kind of message you would like to give to the young law students like us for early success?
I think, see, one thing I want to share that 4 people from Kerala have visited my office in the month of June or July. So I feel very happy that they are such a sweet people. Then I always have a mindset about the South Indian people that I have seen a movie that has like always cutting and all these things, action movies. So then I came to realize that South Indian people are so sweet. And being a law student, they have interned under me for 15 days physical internship. I told them the same thing that being a law student, you are not the like other students. You have the knowledge of the law. You are learning the legal procedure, right? You are learning the daily basis the law point. Uh, you have the capacity more than the other student because you are the law knowing person. What you can do as a student of law, what you can do, you can conduct these kind of webinars, these kind of seminars. I think this is the life changing experience. This may be the life changing experience for someone who do not have knowledge. When I was in 5th year of my law college, I conducted legal awareness camps in my area. I'm from basically from village area, rural area. So I conducted legal awareness camp for the welfare of my people. I usually tell them about the schemes that has been meant for them, how they can apply for their scheme. The basic knowledge is not available to actually the general public. They are not available. It is very easy for us to get to apply for anything. But when we talk about the rural areas people, they are not aware of how to fill a form, simple form, how to apply for a particular scheme. I think being a law student, we can adopt a one initiative in which we are interested. For example, I was interested in women and children issues. So I have, from the past 4 to 5 years, I am on this track only. I am doing all my efforts to on this track only. If you are you want to initiate for environment issues or you want to initiate for some other issue, that is up to you. You can do that. You can make your legal knowledge implementable. And that would be, I think, great way to serve yourself and to serve public. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. And what kind of challenges you have faced during your education time?
Obviously, I'm from lower middle class family. I was so at that time. First challenge was the financial constraint that had faced my parents. Of course, during I was selected in the Jammu University to a Jammu University entrance test, but obviously the yearly fees were 40 to 50,000 to pay in the first year of law and in every year till 5 years. So it was a great challenge for my parents to and I cannot and get them back. That is why I am sitting in front of you people and I am telling all these things because of them, obviously. And I'm of course thankful to them. But beside financial constraint, what I have faced that I do not get till my 3rd year the idea how I can I was not aware whether I should do law. Is it a good decision or not? I was not sure about the thing. And after law, 1 year was completely on this thing, whether I should prepare for judiciary or go for LLM or something like that. Thought. So 1 year I have devoted myself to the judiciary preparation only. Then I came to realize, and in J&K, form has not been, opened for the judiciary segment that year. And then I realized, okay, I will see later on. Let me, devote my things to my passion only. My passion was to always to obviously to earn money. Money is very important. You cannot, But in earlier stages of litigation, you do not get cases easily, right? It is very common. Being a first generation lawyer, you will face everything, like you will not get cases. But what I started taking pro bono cases on pro bono basis. I started my, in my area, I was the only female lawyer. So usually from the females of my area approaching me that they have the grievance of domestic violence, they are facing domestic violence in their area, because I was very active in doing the legal camps and all in my area. So they have started approaching me. Then they said that they do not have money to pay me. I said, okay, fine, you don't need to pay my money. Let me give you the relief from the court. Let me provide you the relief from the court. Then only if you have some billing, you can provide me the drafting charges and all these things. So I started the work like this. Then I come to know that when I provided the relief through the court, the parties, they themselves came to me, with the, I would say the rural people usually give you the vegetables, they grow in their fields as a fee, or they come with the, the ghee, the clarified butter or something like that to provide me, so that, as a fee. So that was really a great experience. You will face, see, by all these things I just want to mention that during your initial stage you have to be very patient, and especially if you are going for litigation, because as a first generation lawyer you don't expect that you will get, hefty amount in starting, or you will get very fancy. You don't think about the fancy mindset that has been, picturized in the movies, Bollywood movies, that you have to, so you just need to be very patient. I would say just continue, don't give up, just continue your work with full enthusiasm. There were some days when you will feel, no, I don't want to continue. Just don't give up. They are not paying me money, they are not paying me anything, and I have to, from my own pocket I have to do all these things. People are expecting, especially when your cousin and all these things, they are, enrolled in government services, and they are, earning very good, like 40 to 50,000 per month, and you are in your initial stage of litigation. People won't understand the litigation thing. They won't understand that litigation takes time, and you just have to be very patient. The only thing you have to do is be patient, and please try to cope up with that time. And if you have the passion in the litigation thing, definitely after 3 years you will see a lot of changes. You will see a lot of changes. Everything will come to you. People will trust you because you have provided them relief through court. You are doing your hard work, you are giving your best for the people. I think that is the best thing. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Can you give us a perspective what happened in Constituent Assembly when Article 370 is introduced?
I'm not getting your question. Can you please repeat?
Can you give us a perspective? What is the scenario of Constituent Assembly when the Article 370 is introduced as 306A?
See, exactly, I am not able to hear the proper question, but you are talking about the Constituent Assembly, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Constituent Assembly, actually, the problem till date was that Constituent Assembly was not existed. In the Constitution, it was mentioned that for the abrogation of Article 370, we need the, the consent of the Constituent Assembly for the same. But if you see the, if you see the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir, Constituent Assembly do not existed after a certain period of time. So the problem is with this article that why it has not been abrogated, and after 65 years of gap, around 65 years of gap, this things has been done by the Honorable President Ramnath Kovind, then President of India. It takes so much time for the abrogation of Article 370. That is also one of the reasons. The line has been mentioned in the Constitution of JNK that the Parliament, the Government of India, need the consent of the Constituent Assembly if they want to, abrogate this article. But ultimately, what happened? This Constituent Assembly do not exist. But later on, after this new, this new order has been passed by the President of India, Honorable President of India, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, then we came to know about the fact that this Constituent Assembly as do not exist. So this word will be used, replaced by the Legislative Assembly. So Constituent Assembly, the word has been replaced by the Legislative Assembly. So that time we have the president rule only when the things abrogation have been done. So later on, this has been decided by the presidential order that this Constituent Assembly will be treated as a legislative assembly, because Constituent Assembly do not have any effect, was dead that time, do not exist actually. So later on it came to be a legislative assembly, and then that is why this thing can be happen. Otherwise, if we see the proper texture, proper word of the Constituent Assembly, there is no such thing like Constituent Assembly in the Jammu and Kashmir. It is a legislature assembly. Yes.
Ma'am, another question from chat box, ma'am. What is the view of Ambedkar on Article 370? And what is the role played by Sheikh Abdullah is bringing Article 370? These are two questions from chat box, ma'am, from Hare Krishna.
Okay. If I talk about the Sheikh Abdullah, obviously all the elected government that has been elected till date is by the two families. One is by the Abdullahs and second is by the Muftis. I would say these two families is the main reason that why it has not been abrogated, why it has taken so much time till date. These are the two families who are involved in, I would say, all this conspiracy. Because of these two families, the growth rate was not there. Why the youth of Jammu and Kashmir is easily misleaded by the terrorist group, because they do not have employment. See, if I talk about the other picture of Jammu and Kashmir, we have, according to data, we have so many better things here in Jammu and Kashmir as compared to UP, Bihar, or Rajasthan, or some other state, Jharkhand. We have a very, if we talk about the education rate is good, mortality rate is not that much bad. We have, as compared to other various other parts of country, we have so much good position here in Jammu and Kashmir. But when we talk about the misleading of youth, that is the main reason. And while researching for this topic, I was, reading one point that according to a census of 2021, Jammu and Kashmir, as compared to other parts of the country, have more youth population as compared to other part of country. So we can utilize our power, our potential for the betterment of the state instead of this terrorism activity. But why we are easily misled? Why it has already been told that people of Jammu and Kashmir, youth of Jammu and Kashmir has easily, because employment is not there. Indirectly, we can say that employment is one of the criteria. Obviously, when they will be employed in a particular company or employed in a particular industry, they will get money. They will think about for the welfare of their family instead of involving himself in such kind of things. I think this is one of the factor that has been done. And if we talk about the Sheikh Abdullah or any family that has that has ruled the state of Jammu and Kashmir, I would say their children are not involved in such kind of activity. Their children are getting their education from Oxford, Cambridge, and something like that. They are not involved in stone pelting. They are not involved in terrorist activity directly. It is actually the middle class youth who has been misled by this separatist group. And actually, Jammu and Kashmir, I would say, it is a national problem. But I always, being a citizen of Jammu and Kashmir, being a state subject of Jammu and Kashmir, I always realize that whichever government will come at center or at state, they always, try to manipulate. They always try to use J&K for their personal interest instead of working for the betterment of state. I hope this abrogation will work some positive impact, but as I already told you, to be honest, I have, being a citizen of Jammu and Kashmir, I have never seen, being a domicile of J&K, I have never seen till date, at least till 2020, any very big impact in the J&K after the abrogation. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And one more question in chat box. What would be the situation if Article 370 is not abrogated? Will there be any effects like extension of POK? Like,
see, as I told you before, abrogation of Article 370, we have dual citizenship. Very basic thing. We have our own constitution. We have our own flag. Easily, the schemes that have been implemented by the government of India will not be implemented in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. It needs the discretion of the state government. And there are so many things before the abrogation of Article 370. Can you please repeat the question?
what would be the situation of Article 370 is not abrogated? Will there be any effects like extension of POK?
POK. Okay. Pakistan occupied Kashmir. I won't talk about the POK segment because always it is a politicized very easily. But yes, if I talk about the before the abrogation criteria, you people must have heard that we have our own constitution, we have our own flag. Earlier it was like we are a separate country. In a simple language, we are actually the separate country. But in our constitution as well, Article 1, it has been clearly mentioned that J&K is an integral part of the Union of India. But still we have our own, everything was our own. And we have not been, given benefit of the schemes that have been implemented throughout the country. And we have been always denied so many things, like there are so many acts. I talk about the right to education. There are ST/SC acts. We have, Dalit community. We have community like Gujars or Bakkarwals. There are tribal communities who do not get the benefit under the many schemes. And being a citizen of Jammu and Kashmir, I get the benefits within the state only, not to the outside. Yes, number of schemes have been made for the education of the Jammu and Kashmir student. Like we have Pradhan Mantri, Yojana for the education in the better colleges. The students of Jammu and Kashmir have been given a list of colleges in which they want to enroll, and if they get a chance, they can be enrolled in the state. That is why they are in almost in every part of the country getting education. There are so many things, but earlier it was not that much. But right now, as we are the proper part of the Jammu and Kashmir, so I really want to share one very important thing. Whenever I read the law books during my law college, there was only the only line that always make me feel very sad, that this applies to whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. That line always hit me. Why we are always being treated as a other part. So right now this is not the scenario. We have, earlier it was the official language of Jammu and Kashmir was Urdu. Now, like other, we are the official language in our courts are English. There are so many things that have been changed after abrogation.
Ma'am,
I read a small statement like because of abrogation of Article 370, can we say that POK is Jammu is not completely occupied by Pakistan because of the abrogation? Can we say?
See, they cannot be. We cannot be occupied by Pakistan easily because our security force is so much capable. If you visit the Jammu and Kashmir, you will see our security forces are so much active in the area. Like we have in every part, you will see a security force, a security personnel is standing here. So they cannot easily occupy us, and they will not, obviously, because it is not that much easy. They cannot occupy. But what I'm trying to tell you, that actually it is with the help of local people. They have the they have that courage. They have that courage that they can do something. They can destroy the peace of J&K or peace of whole of country. It is with the help of local people only. And those local people, I would say not the whole local people, some are very friendly to the security forces, that they immediately when they will see something, some thing happen, they have apprehension that that can be happen in there, they immediately inform to the security forces that something has been seen in that area. But there are few youth, I would say, that has been misled. Maybe I don't know the reason, that has been easily misled, that something bad has happened to them by the government of India, by then government, by then Maharaja. They are the part of Pakistan or something like that. So it is a controversial issue. But I would say that our territory cannot be occupied by any country. It is not that much easy. I have full trust on my security forces, and they are doing amazing, commendable job.
But I thought like this article, abrogation of Article 370 contributes some part of security to India, like security to Jammu specifically.
Can you please repeat the question?
Like security of Jammu.
Just a second. Yes, please tell.
Yeah, because of abrogation of Article 370, like the Jammu and Kashmir security is partly like contributes some part of security to the territory, I guess.
Again, I didn't get your question. Can you please repeat? I'm so sorry.
Like, ma'am, Indian territory, it is not that easy to occupy Indian territory, as you said. But because of abrogation of Article 370, it contributes some part of security to Jammu as well, according to me, I guess.
Again, I'm so sorry, I didn't get your question, but yes, you're talking about the security forces. I think, as I already told you, that I don't think that it is that much easy to occupy any part of our country, be it J&K or any part by any country. Neighboring country always try to violate the ceasefire things and all these things you must have heard in the news channels or everything. But I would say it is not that much easy. We have amazing this security agencies who are working day and night in the state of Jammu and Kashmir for the security of the region, for the security of the people of J&K. I think as it has been easily pictured, one more thing that I want to share with you people. In media, I have seen that J&K is always picturized as a they have always used the state of Jammu and Kashmir as something has in one part, if in one part the terrorist activity has been done, like in one part the ceasefire violation has been done, or if in one part of Jammu and Kashmir some terrorist activity has been created, it is not important that it has been done in the whole state of Jammu and Kashmir. We are not that much small region. If it is done in the one district only, media channels describe it as the it has been done in whole state of Jammu and Kashmir. This create the a perception in the mindset of the people that whole state is in always is in always in terrorist activities. It is a very much so always I have so many friends who are from Delhi or other parts of the country. When I told them that why don't you visit Jammu and Kashmir, they always have a mindset, no, it is not a safe place. It is a very dangerous place to visit, right? Despite that, Jammu and Kashmir is treated as a heaven on earth, but still tourism sector is not flourishing that much when it was in during the 90s, when every Bollywood movie has been created in J&K only. But after the migration of Kashmiri Pandits, we have seen a different picture of J&K. Terrorist activity have been so much active. Terrorists are so much active. Local groups are enrolled, activated as a terrorist group. So what I have seen that media is also actually and Bollywood is also actually contributing for picturizing Jammu and Kashmir. They have the duty at least to not to show a bad picture about the J&K, which is actually not. Jammu and Kashmir, I am living in Jammu. I am completely feeling safe here in my office. There is nothing to worry about, the same thing. But people always have a mindset that the whole Jammu and Kashmir is in danger every time. It is not true. Media, it is a responsibility of media as well. I always believe that most of the political parties, most of the media channels uses Jammu and Kashmir as for their TRP things, for their personal interest, not for the benefit of the region. We are trying our best, even tourism department of Jammu and Kashmir and government of India trying their best to flourish the tourism of Jammu and Kashmir. But still, I hope in future we are looking forward to see a few positive changes, few more positive changes.
Of course, ma'am. Before this session, also we have also vision that, like you before said only. But I hope definitely we also visit your office, and it is very peaceful place. We know that after this session, we tell our friends also. After abrogation of 370, most of the Indians also feels before and after there also so much changes happened in J&K. We hope before also same like this, and now also it happened same peacefully. And thank you so much, ma'am. My colleagues will conclude this session, and we are thankful to you, ma'am, for your accepting our request. We didn't expect this from you, but for one phone call, the way you shows love towards us, the affection, it is very memorable, because of we are very far away to you. We are very we are in South India and we are in very north, so we are very thankful to you, ma'am. Very thankful to you. Definitely.
Thank you so much, Pawan. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. I'm really grateful to you people, because as I told you, that 4 people have visited my office from Kerala. That time I realized that South Indians are not about cutting in all these action movies. South Indians are very, so thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Definitely. We hope we have a long time association with you, ma'am.
Ma'am, one more last question, ma'am. There is a question in chat box.
Can you please read?
Yes, ma'am. How is a common man getting justice in J&K? What has been doing the government to get justice?
See, like in other courts, we have our own courts. We have our own district courts. We have our own session courts, proper courts. Obviously, justice things are same as other parts of the country. We have our own high court. One in Jammu bench, second is in Srinagar bench. So the third one is in Ladakh bench. So we have our own courts for the justice of the people. And so far as the concern of the the justice of the normal people is, it is long pending cases. So list of long pending cases, but still it's the same like in other parts of the country. We are not have special things for the justice thing. Yeah.
That's all, ma'am. These are the queries. I hope everyone got a view about this session. Now I request Aradhya to give vote of thanks.
Our most valued invited guest, Ms. Meenu Padha, ma'am. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of our organization and the entire students who are present here, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks for sharing your valuable views and to take out time from your busy schedule to grace the event today with us, which really helped us a lot and made us confident on these articles and brought awareness about law career. We hope that our organization needs more support in future from great personalities like you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your presence. And I must thank the organizing team and thank you, Yagna Legal, for providing Zoom access to make this webinar a successful one. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and willingness towards this webinar, and you guys made it successful one. Once again, thank you for all the participants and team SVLSA for making this possible. And from yesterday, we are very excited, ma'am, to meet you for such a young successful lady, and we feel very grateful for this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We're heartfully inviting you, Tirupati, to visit Lord Balaji. Definitely will accompany you, ma'am.
Definitely. I would love to visit Tirupati. I have heard about it so much. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.